think with the rain that we're having now, we can have some really good fishing. And we've just started on the good stretch here now. So
Sea trout fishing makes you walk far, but as long as the conditions and the signs suggest there's even a small chance the sea trout might be heading to the same spot, we'll keep on walking. Sea trout is often found in beautiful places where the surrounding sets the mood for the rest of the day. Walking towards a spot you truly believe in is one of the best feelings there is. When you finally arrive, standing there by the coastline, you almost can't believe how lucky you are to be part of this adventure.
hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Scandinavian Seatrout Adventure. My name is Carl, and in this series we do coastal fly fishing for sea trout in Norway, Denmark and Sweden. Each of the episodes is filmed from one day's fishing, and even if we don't catch any fish, the videos will be uploaded. In today's episode we are on Fynen in Denmark, and we're fishing quite the spring spot. So if you saw the episode last week, we had super weather with sun and temperature upwards to 15 degrees. So we are now in the second week of March. The temperature has dropped a little bit, but still on the plus side. So we will have 6 to 7 plus degrees in the air. We will have some wind from the west upwards to 7 to 9 meters per second. The temperature in the water is around 4 degrees, and it is a good chance on this spot due to the vegetation and the bottom structure that seems to hold quite a lot of fish during the spring months. So let's see. We are currently fishing on low water level, and the water will rise during the day, and we will have 4 to 5 hour session on this spot. The gear that I'm using today is the Orvis Helio 9'7" weight in the D version with the Orvis Mirage LT reel, and I have a full intermediate line from Scientific Angler. The leader that I'm fishing with today is a full fluorocarbon, so it will be 13 foot long, 10-foot tapered leader that goes out to a 0.30, connected to a 2mm tippet ring, and out to a 0.28 tippet after that. Today I will just start with the fly that I always start with when I don't see any action in the water, and that's the raccoon fly, Kajbjergskoven fly in a size 4 hook, short shaft on this one. Just a standard color red with some grizzly hackle. So let's get out in the water and try to see if we can find some sea trout. So to start with, I will do a little bit of weight fishing. So we will wade ourselves out here and fish the bottom structure that looks really promising. The bottom structure on the spot we're fishing today has a variation of stones, vegetation, and also some clamps beds that is lying around here, and that seems to hold quite a lot of sea trout. So we'll just start here and see, wade ourselves a little bit out, and then just target the spots here. Going on sand here as well, so really nice. Okay, let's get out and take the first cast here. So we have still spring temperatures on the plus side for the most part of Denmark, and the only place I think is the southeastern part where I am based in Norway. that we don't have +degrees during the night actually. So, and the water temperatures are pretty low as well. So I decided to take a week more here in Denmark and fish this spot here. So I'm just going to target the dark sections. That's where most likely the fish will stand here. And we have a lot of wind today and some wave as well. And that is pretty good. So, and we will have, I think we'll have shifting weathers today as well. It will be both sun and it's also predicted a little bit of rain during the day as well. So we'll have a little bit of everything maybe. And the good thing about the shallow spot that we're starting fishing now is that when we get a little bit of wave as well, then the sea trout are able to swim a little bit on the sand structure as well, because they have that coverage of the waves on top of their head as well. It's so nice that we have the main structure underneath here is sand, so it's soft and lovely to walk on. When you're fishing a lot of rock bottom structure, you get really tired, especially in your back and your legs when you're just tumbling around. So hopefully some of the nice bottom structure here will hold some sea trout. And also, as we saw in the last episode, they go quite shallow as well. So we have to cast in pretty shallow. Don't forget that. Oh, I had a follower. Oh, fish on. Yes, it took there. So I had a follower and it's not a big fish, but it's a nice silver one. Oh. I had a follower and it was just trying to, I just tweaked the fly a little bit, could see it come from far and was just able to tweak it a little bit and then it took. So yeah, I think we chose the right spot today. So really nice fish. So let's just unhook it here. And as you can see, nice silver sea trout here. So really good. So guys, that was really nice fish to start with here, very early. That's good. Always gives us a little bit of extra confidence. It was not a big sea trout, but who cares? It's a sea trout. So let's start. So I don't want to wait any further now. We'll take a couple of more casts just to see if we have a school of fish in front of us here. So could be nice. So let's see. And treating, when you feels like you're getting a bite, it's very important that you react on that and set the hook, even if it's just grass, because you never know. So So the stones and vegetation, they are spread out on the spot here. So it doesn't look like it's the typical wee beds where you have just a long weed section, weed section. Right. But at the same time, you don't need that. Those small spots there, perfect. One. Oh, that was the grass again. So I'm fishing on, I think, around 50 centimeters of water here now. And then also taking some cast in where you have around 30 centimeters of water. So quite shallow. It's just a beautiful spot, and we're totally alone on the spot. So it is a spot where you have to walk a little bit to get down here. And that always helps to find spots that are not that accessible, like most of the other spots where you just can park down close to the coastline and fish. So I have fished the spot here 2 times before in my life. So, and both of those trips has been in the early spring. So I think I had May is the latest that I fished this spot here before. But I wasn't that successful actually. So I wanted to come here, and the main reason why I chose the spot here today is, of course, the bottom structure here tends to hold schools of fish, and also the water temperature here on the stretch that we are now here. It's the highest on Fyn. So we had some beautiful weather last week, and the water temperature was rising. But in the end of the week, there came some current with some colder water. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So, but this spot here should hold around 4.5 degrees. Second week of March here now. So I thought last episode we caught a little bit of fish, but it was still a struggle. So my expectations is not that I'm going to go out on every fishing trip and catch trophy fish. I actually don't expect any fish. I just try to. The goal is to find fish, and I try to tick off as many boxes as possible, and then do as I have planned, and then the nature will take care of the rest. So we have just so amazing ground to cover in front of us here. It looks so fishy, and it's just like, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks really fishy. So what is nice is that I'm standing a little up on the shelf here, and I can have really good visual contact with the fish if I have a follower here from the pool section and in here. So that's really nice. It's almost like fishing in the Bahamas or in the Florida Keys here actually, with like you're doing bone fishing. So one of the things that I learned when I started with sea trout fishing, this was from my big mentor, Berne Larsen, from the Copenhagen area. He told me that if you see spots and you don't believe that there will be fish there, make a cast there. So cast on every spot, even if it looks just a little bit tiny spot with a rock or some grass and you don't, I will skip that. Don't do it. Because you never know where the fish can be standing. And the fish that we caught, it followed from the weed section and out to the sandy bottom here quite far. So when they are on a hunt, we'll just go for it. So now we're coming to a spot where we have a weed belt just on the left side, and we have another belt on the right side further out. And in between here, we have some spread vegetation. So just dots in between the sand here. And they don't look that interesting, but I'll promise you, in between those dots that we have here now, we'll be standing some really nice sea trout. I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, but it is quite strange for me to walk here and just do a lot of talking, and I tend to repeat myself very often. Why now we need to cast very shallow, now we need to cast here. But I'm trying to show you what I see. And this is a spot. But I wish that I could have a couple of people with me and fish here, because it's so nice here. Now I've fished off most of the belt that we have on the left side. I fished over the dotted section, let's call us that, in front of us. And now I want to place some flies out to the deeper section. I need to move a little bit, not so far, but it is like a beautiful big belt, and it's starting to get deeper here and down. And let's see. Just going to place my fly in the start of the structure there. And I strip the fly in a couple of times, and then as soon as the fly lands in front of the vegetation there, I strip it in twice, bump, bump, and then I let it sink a little bit. So, because if there is a sea trout standing, that's at least my theory, if there's a sea trout standing in the vegetation there, it can see and hear my fly land in front, and it makes toot toot. Then it gets curious and it stops. Usually then they take if they're there. Boom, boom. Let it drop a little bit. Come on. A little bit later in the spring, in April, there will be Sea Trout Open here on Fyn. And I have actually decided that I'm going to participate in Sea Trout Open this year. I've never done it before, but looks really exciting, and my goal there is to meet fellow fly fishermen and sea trout anglers and just have a beautiful weekend with some sea trout fishing. And I've also decided that I'm going to film each of the days in the competition, and I will just post that separately, not in the Scandinavian Seatrout playlist, but just separately on the channel. So if that is of any interest, you can see how I am doing in the competition. And I haven't been in any sea trout competitions and so on earlier. It is a sport, but for me it's not. I am not participating this year to having the mindset that it is a tournament. I look upon it as a social event where you can meet a lot of people and just having a good time. So, but I know it's a lot of people that take it quite seriously, actually, and start in the middle of the night for the first day. And all the focus is on winning the tournament. But if some of you are watching that are participating in Sea Trout Open now in April 2026, yeah, send me a message, or I would really like to meet you when the weekend comes. Okay, let's go a little bit further down and see. So we're just fishing off the last section here now. And when I was walking down to the spot here today, I met a spin fisherman, a man in his late 70s, and this is his local spot. And he fishes here once, twice a week, and he's doing it for his exercise, walking down here and then casting a little bit with his spinning rod and just enjoying himself. And he told me that this spot here was, back in the days, it was like a fish guarantee spot when he was younger, when he fished here. You can come here with a spinning rod and you could catch cod, flatfish, and of course sea trout. So we are doing a lot these days environmentally, and but we are unfortunately not doing enough. So, and he's sea trout fishing. This is, instead of going to a fitness center or something, he's walking twice a week, going down here, and now and then he also catches some nice fish and gets an adrenaline kick, and it is sea trout fishing on the coast is, and when you get the fish, it's one of the best feelings in the world with your pants on. So I think it's time to move into further into the bay, and then we have a long, nice section that we will fish off as well. And we have now spent 1.5 hours on the stretch here, one fish. So we need to find some more, and hopefully further in on the inner stretch here we can find some fish there. So let's move in and see if we can find some sea trout. So we just had a little bit of a break, and now I will head into the inner bay over here. So sea trout fishing is a lot of walking, and just today I have been walking almost 4 kilometers, and then I have to go back. So that's 8 kilometers in total during a fishing session. So really, really nice, and so beautiful to get when you get home, and you just feel like you are a little bit sore from all the walking, and you have filled up the emotional bank account with some beautiful sceneries and also some good experiences here on the coast. So now I'll just walk a little bit more over here, and we will start some wade fishing again in between some really nice bottom structure, and hopefully we'll find some sea trout. So guys, we're just walked out to the last stretch that we're going to fish. When I came out in the water here, I saw some, to my surprise, some sandworms has been hatching here or been digging. So I have changed my fly to a sandworm fly with a wiggle tail. I think the English word is brothel worm or something, but I don't know. So if you know the English word for in Danish is børsteorm, børstemark in Norwegian. I don't even know the Swedish word for it, but please leave a comment down below if you know the English word for it. Let's just call it sandworm. And it's been a lot of them here, and they usually come in the spring, a little bit later in March, April, when the water temperature rises a little bit. But the week before we had, so 2 weeks ago, the week before last week when we had the temperature change, we also had some moon phases. So and usually they hatch during that time as well. So I want to try to see. The spot we're fishing here now, the stretch, in the start here now, it's only spots with vegetation, and then we will come into a spot with wheat beds and so on. But we still have the pools from the shore a little bit in, badekar in Danish, and I want to fish off this with the sandworm fly and see how it is. So how I fish the sandworm fly, because you can fish it with a one-hand retrieve, but then you fish it just like a shrimp or a bait fish or something. And if you have a one-hand retrieve, at least have long retrieves, because the one fly, the sandworm, is not swimming like this. So I take my rod underneath my arm and I do a roly-poly in different speeds, and then with some pauses, because the sandworm swims more like this in the water, and not the traditional one-hand retrieve scenario here. And it would be really nice if we could catch a sea trout on a sandworm fly here as well. It is a food source that is very important for the sea trout, and also they are very fond of it. I don't know if it's comparable to steak, but it's high protein and good food source for the sea trout. So I will concentrate on the pool close to shore, and hopefully we can catch one. And also, if you have a bite or a fish comes in, don't lift your rod up. Just roly-poly and strip set it before you're lifting the rod up. So the tactic or the plan for the stretch here is to fish it in sections. So we'll be wading in a straight line here, and then we'll be targeting the inside pool. So cast in that section and then divide it in section and cast outwards here as well. So But the sea trout can go really close here. And we don't need to cast very far. So and I have my rod tip underneath the water surface pointing downwards. A little bit less wind inside here, but further over there we have a lot of movement in the water. So it looks really, really nice. So the line that I'm fishing with today, it's a full intermediate line from Scientific Angler, and it's in the moss green color. So, and it blends perfectly in during spring and the summer also, where you have those grass and other green stuff that is floating in the water surface as well. So for those of you who usually likes to fish with color fly lines but would like to have a little bit more visual sight of your line, this is a really good line as well. Oh, that was some grass. You just feel it straight in when you roly-poly the line here, and it gets stuck to some vegetation. Okay, just want to have it in here. And I really like this kind of fishing when we're fishing shallow in those pools, especially this time of year. The fish, they come so close, and it's very exciting. Let's see now. So the worm fly with wiggle tail, if you roly-poly or you retrieve it too fast, you will not get the best effect out of the wiggle tail. So just steady, very slow retrieves, and also bounce it a little bit on the water or on the bottom as well. Just here, let's see now. Now we're starting to get into the exciting area. So just roly-poly it very slowly, have contact with it. I'm not seeing that much signs from, because the bottom structure has changed here. So I think we will change the fly here when we're fishing in between here. So, but it was nice to take out the sandworm again. That's a sign of spring. So I think I will try a small camera as a copper one. So Kajbjergskoven. Now I have approximately around 40-50 meters left of this section of the stretch. Then it will be area with just a lot of sand, nothing else. And then we come into the spot where I believe we have the biggest chance today. At least that was my thoughts when I passed it earlier today, and from what I have experienced from previous years. So we'll take a couple of casts here now, and then we'll go up and take on my wading jacket because the skies are a little bit dark behind me here. Could be that we can get some Danish wet sunshine. So the rain has started and the wind is picking up, and we are now heading into the final stretch for today, where we're having deeper water and a lot of vegetation here. So I have changed my fly from Gamma's imitation back to the raccoon fly to fish this area here. So, and we can target the first part of the stretch here. We can target that from shore. So we will do that now. So let's see. Right. We need to be patient here now, that's for sure. So, especially when we catch the fish early, like we did today, then the expectation goes up even more. Oh, that was a fish. Yeah, that's a fish, and it's an okay fish as well, guys. It's not a huge one, but it is definitely a nice one. That's a little bit of a bigger size. Yes. And just when we were talking about that, we need to be patient. We managed to catch a decent sea slug, so really, really nice. When we were just talking about being patient, we managed to find a fish, and it's not a huge fish, but it's a really, really nice sea trout, as you can see here. Really, really nice. So, and I think with the rain that we're having now, we can have some really, really good fishing. And we've just started on the good stretch here now. So let's just get out there and see if we can find some more. So the sea trout is lurking around inside here now, looking for food. Pretty shallow. So let's see if this was just a school or if it was just one standing alone here searching. So could be nice if we found a school of a little bit bigger sea trout here now. That would be nice. So, but a fish that was in really, really good condition. Silver fish, super strong, and also really nice, fat over the belly. So that's good. And it just took super hard. Some heavy clouds with rain is coming by here now. So the wind is picking up. So I think we are really, really lucky. So in sea trout fishing, you often hear that the wind and the weather can be your best friend or your worst enemy. But now we needed that, so this is really good. So, a lot of movement in the water here as well. So we have a good chance here. And we just have to take some short casts out here. Beautiful, a lot of beautiful vegetation here. Oh, that was the ground. Okay, out there. That's where we catch a big one, guys. Now, I'm not going to get overexcited now just because I have caught 2 sea trout today, but I'm so pleased. Man, what a beautiful day. I keep saying it in all the episodes, even if I don't catch any fish, but I really mean it. So it is a day out sea trout fishing on the coast is a beautiful day. Even when I haven't caught any fish or anything, I still don't regret going out for a trip on the coastline. So this is I think one of my top 10 favorite spring spots, and that's not due to that we catch a lot of fish here, but it's due to what I see around here with the bottom structure and everything. This is a spot where the sea trout would like to be. So and sometimes we pay a lot of attention on where we are catching fish, and we tend to visit those spots more often and also put a label on that spot that has a really good one due to that we caught one over 50 centimeters. But trying to pay attention on spots and bottom structure and the food sources that are available, that is more important in my eyes. So, because the spot that I'm today, with the bottom structure that we have here, you will find big fish here. Maybe not today, maybe not this week or next week, but you will find fish here if you concentrate on this spot. That's for sure. And if I was living close by here, just like the nice spin fisherman that I met earlier today, I would definitely concentrate on this spot and not drive around to all different spots, because this spot here has everything. I think maybe in the summer months, this spot here is not maybe the best spot in the whole world, but spring, this is spring and autumn. This is a good spot. So guys, I think it's time to wrap it up for today. The clouds are building up over here and it's starting to rain quite heavily. So it's been a beautiful day on the coastline of Denmark and Funen. We managed to catch 2 sea trout, fished for approximately around a little over 4 hours. So we did what we could, and we will just try next time to see if we can find that big fish. But I'm really happy with today, and it's been really nice. I just want to thank you so much for watching this episode of Scandinavian Seatrout Adventure. Looking forward to seeing you back in the next one. And as we always end it on the channel, guys, go out there and go fly fishing.